welcome to Fostering Lauren, where we talk about, that is not the name of this show here. Hold on. Hello everyone, welcome to Lauren Fosters, where we talk about all things foster care and adoption related, and I'm here to introduce you to my mother-in-law, Barbara. Yay! So she is a grandma to 10 kids. So if you're new to Lauren Fosters, I have 10 kids. 4 are my biological kids and 6 are adopted out of the foster care system. We're a military family, and she is the grandma to all this chaos. So welcome, Barbara. So I thought it would be neat if you got to know my mother-in-law, Barbara, just a bit. So we do not live in the same state, and we have once, and so in my husband's whole military career, we've lived in the same state one time. But I thought we would go way back to when we first met. Do you remember when we first met?
Yes.
Yes. So my husband and I were both in college. He was in his first year of college. I was in my second year of college when we met, and both of us ended up kind of walking away from that after that particular year, and we were going to college in Southern California, and they live in Northern California, and I kind of met Barbara and her husband Richard, so my father-in-law, because I feel like it was like what the cat dragged home, like, because my husband just kind of brought me home. Was that sort of what it was like?
Sort of like that, yes.
Yeah, so I think it was kind of a last minute decision in a way to go from Southern California to Northern California, and we had maybe planned to stay with you for a while. I don't really remember much of it, if Rich came up with this idea on his own or what exactly happened, but let's just say we weren't doing super great in college, and so we kind of just left that and headed to Barbara and Richard's neck of the woods. So I don't know, do you remember meeting me for the first time?
You were a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, when you have an adult son, you get surprises.
Yes.
And you've been a good surprise, so that's good.
As of so far, I mean, like, I feel like back then it probably didn't feel like a good surprise. Like, did he tell you that he was bringing me home?
No.
No? So like he walks through the door and I'm just there?
Yes.
So that's great. I didn't even know that part. So that's how I met
Not
him.
even sure I knew he was coming home.
So, okay, well see, yeah, there you go. When I met my husband and he was kind of like, hey, we're gonna go up to Northern California and you're gonna meet my parents. Yeah, we were, once again, like this was a time in our lives, okay, this was a time in my life where I wasn't probably making the best decisions. I was, 2 years, I aged out of the foster care system, and I forgot to mention that earlier. If you're new here, I'm former foster youth. I aged out when I was 18. So at the end of my senior year, I went to college my first year in my hometown, and then I moved to Southern California, which is where I met my husband, Rich, and who's a fourth. So that's why there's Richard, Rich, and I have a junior. There's a lot of them, a lot of the same name. But anyway, yeah. So what did you think? You first met me, and was that just kind of a shock, or?
I don't know. It was just like, okay, this is where we're going this time. Now.
Yeah. I don't remember you being like shooken. Like you seemed very calm.
Yes, very calm. I never knew what to expect from my son. So there you go. We had you there too.
Yeah.
But he seemed very happy.
Yeah.
And a mom wants her children to be happy, so that's good.
Yeah, and he's the oldest of 3, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he was kind of the first college kid, and is like, and then brings home girlfriend, and that's awkward. I didn't know she didn't know we were coming, because the way you presented was very like, I totally knew, and welcome home.
What do we do with our adult children? We welcome them home.
Yeah,
right?
I will say that I felt like I was really welcomed, like right from the get-go. I don't feel like you and Richard were weird about it or anything. I feel like you guys were just super accepting of what was happening, which was awesome.
Yeah, when he was in high school, my husband and I would start cooking dinner, and my dinner might take an hour and a half to fix, and at that time he would walk in with 6 people. So I was used to welcoming in his friends
and just adjusting. Mm-hmm. Which brings me to the next question. Speaking of just adjusting, did it ever even occur to you, you see him grow all the way up, and did it ever occur to you at any point that he was going to join the military, or was that just out of nowhere? Because that felt out of nowhere to me, I will say. I didn't know.
It really felt like brainwashing to me. He walked in and he had a script, and I could tell it was a script. Mm-hmm. I was going to say this. They expected it, and then he had a response that he'd been taught to say, I thought. But you don't get to argue all the time.
So you definitely weren't expecting him to join. So
No.
yeah, I met my husband when he was not military. So a little backstory. So once again, I met him in college, but I didn't know he was gonna join the military either. Like we were in a very, I don't know, would you say it was like a hippie part of Northern California, I feel like?
Yes.
Is that a good way to
Yes.
describe it? Yeah. Like it's not the place where people just join the military all willy-nilly. So, so yeah, that was a surprise to us, to me as well.
And he never liked authority.
Yeah.
So to have somebody who hates authority join the military seems odd.
Right, like he had really long hair when he joined and they had to take it all off and all that. Yeah, so that was kind of a weird, that was a weird move. But we were on kid number 2 when he joined. Like I was pregnant with our second child. So I mean, I didn't marry into the military. This was like we already had a relationship and kids happening pre-military, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I felt like he did it to support you.
Yeah.
Because he had another plan and it didn't work. Mm-hmm. And that was a way to support the family.
That's right.
That's what I thought was happening.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, so be honest though, when you met, you know, what I once again felt like what the cat dragged home, did you think, man, they're really going to make it?
No.
No. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Yeah. I mean, a lot of ups and downs and all that kind of stuff before we got married for sure. And I'm sure it was a surprise to you guys. But I will say, although I'm not one to get super duper mushy, I will say Barbara and Richard really just kind of invited me right into their family and house, because my mom passed away when I was 15 years old, and while my dad has always kind of been in my life, I don't know that we were talking a lot at that point in my life. And so Barbara and Richard were like kind of became my parents too. So like I felt like not only did they like welcome me in and go like, hey, you're my kid, but like also like the lovey things, but I feel like they had a hard time. I don't feel like they had a hard time also like doing the mom and dad things of like, hey, get yourself together, you know, pull it together, and you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So they've kind of been my parents. So as somebody who grew up with, you know, documents that say orphaned on it, you know, I've been very just blessed to be able to have another set of parents that have just welcomed me in. So that's been really, really awesome.
Well, and I had one daughter, so needed another one.
Yeah, now you have a couple.
Yeah.
So this is Barbara, and stay tuned because there will be another video coming. And if you have a grandparent in your life, an in-law in your life, if you are a grandparent of somebody who's considering foster care, adoption, we're gonna have a whole conversation about that. And Barbara is going to share her thoughts on being a grandma to foster kids, adopted kids, biological kids in that world. And so if you have any questions about that, stay tuned for more from Barbara. All right, so that's all we got for now, and we'll see you next time. Bye.